for a pre-sentence investigation and report, as well as a victim impact statement. That report has been completed. The state has had the opportunity to review the report and is ready to proceed with sentencing. The state would move to dismiss the remaining counts of the indictment, and there are 16 days of jail time credit. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Novotny.
Your Honor, we're just asking for any type of leniency with these matters. Ultimately, we'd like the court to consider community control sanctions at this time. Your Honor, and I know Justin will go in a little bit more detail about what he's done so far in prison. He just completed his prison sentence. He has informed me he participated in numerous programs while being in prison, specifically Toastmasters, which is a public speaking course. They learn ultimately how to speak to one another, have great communication with that respect. He also participated in a debate class, a money smart class, so when he is out of prison, he can be economically savvy and manage and budget his funding with that respect. He also participated in Tyros, which I think really hit home for Justin when he was in prison. Ultimately, it was teaching him, as he explains to me, how to be a stand-up person in society. And one thing, quote, that he has come out with, or phrase, should I say, that really hit home for him is dedication. A lot of them, people involved in that program were dads, and kind of stating their experiences with regard to their children and what their long-term goals were for being the parent that he needs to be and wants to be. So dedication, ever since I met Justin with this case, he's kind of held that to his heart dearly with that respect. He also participated in AA and NA meetings whenever they were available for him at the prison. He even tried to be a sponsor at North Central. In addition to that, he was baptized in prison as well, just trying to have some sort of reformation with regard to what he was looking at and his beliefs are. With that respect, and referring back to the dedication, we talked a lot about what his short-term goals are and what his long-term goals are, Your Honor. Specifically, his long-term goal would be ultimately in his child's life. I know he is upset about missing a lot of years with regard to that, key essential years of early development with his child, and he wants to make up for that. So a long-term goal for Justin would be one day being the dad that he knows and he should be and ultimately wants to be for his child. However, he knows that he has to work on himself before he can accomplish or achieve that long-term goal. So with that regard, Your Honor, he is accepted into Legends to maintain his sobriety and recovery path, or in order to try to get to that point where he can achieve his long-term goal. The earliest that they're willing to take him and accept him is November 12th, and ultimately it would be a 30-day inpatient program with sober living associated with PHP and IOP, and they would give the court, of course, updates in our office as well about what Justin's doing there. In total, Your Honor, we would ask that the court be inclined to consider community control sanctions with this matter and any type of leniency with any type of sentence that he's imposed today. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sullivan, what do you want to tell me?
So, Your Honor, everything she's spoken was true. I did do a lot of programs in prison. I'm kind of upset with the situation itself because, you know, I made a decision that in the court's eyes is wrong, you know, black and white. And at the same time, though, like it was either I do that or I decide to stand against morally making the choice of keeping in touch with Julia and having contact with my child, you know, especially with what's been going on. You know, she just lost custody of my daughter again for like the third time in this prison number. So obviously there was something going on more than that, but I did wrong, you know, like I shouldn't have had contact with her, but as a man, as a father, like I thought I did what was right. So, you know, I apologize for that. But at the same time, she's right. I did a lot of programs and not really because I knew like the court wasn't looking into it or nothing like that. It's just like who I am as a man. Like I just like to better myself. You know, I did Inside Out Dads, I did Tyros, which it used to be like a Tyro Dads program. It's more so like they're accepted. It's like there's a Tyro women's and a man's one now because like they're trying to get people to change into like being stand-up citizens, you know, like not really just like ex-cons, but more so like people that want to do better for their community, you know. And actually, I got the guy that gets like the grants for the Ridge Project, which runs Tyros. He gave me his personal email, told me to call him whenever I get out, and then he was going to try to help me, because I have an idea with putting together like a, not necessarily like a recovery based, I mean it could be recovery, more so like how Tyros is, but on like a farm. So like I have contact with like a CEO in there, owns a farm and stuff like that. He actually had the same idea. Like we take like a group of guys, I mean this is further down the road when I get my stuff together, you know, but like we take like a group of like 5 guys and we teach them how to live, you know what I'm saying? Like how to care for their family, how to live, how to work, you know, stuff like that. But and she's right with the AA and NA. Like I was like a beacon of light, because like I'm really knowledgeable with the 12 steps and AA and stuff. So like when I would go into these prisons and like I'd go speak at the lectern, like people would shake my hand after I speak, you know, like it's almost like I mean I don't see it, but like other people see it. Like I'm like a perfectionist, so like whenever I don't see perfection in myself, I see failure. But like other people congratulate me on my progress and stuff like that. So, and I think I'm doing fairly well. You know, like before I came back to the jail on these charges, like I was getting high in prison because I was down in like Youngstown, and you know, like the circumstances with everything, just everything that was going on. But like I'm kind of glad that I came back. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of needed to come back. Like I don't know how to explain that, and you know, but I really did need to come back, and like I learned what I needed to learn, and I think I'm ready for probation. I mean, I really don't want probation, but I can complete it. You know what I'm saying? Like no matter what, I got to. I don't want to have to do this stuff on your guys' terms. Like, I want to do it for myself. I don't want to have to jump through hoops just because you guys are telling me to. I just want to do this for my child and myself, really. So.
Whatever programs you did in prison, you're right from the standpoint that it wasn't to try to show me what you're doing, because when I sent you, I had no intention of looking at what you were doing, okay? Because we've tried probation a whole bunch of times, right? Didn't we?
I think I was granted probation once, but then I was given a couple of chances just because it was
Right, that's what I mean.
kind of like breaking no contact order and stuff like that.
So when you were doing these programs, though, you were still getting high?
No, so the prison I was just in is where I started getting high, and there was no programs there. It was a level 3, it was just violence and drugs. Every day I was fighting, every day. Like I haven't been in a fight, like I'm not a violent person, and like the 2 prisons I was in prior to that, I had no issues at all with anybody. And then I get to this prison, I'm fighting at least once a day. It was just a complete night and day situation.
Well, when you got back here, why were you being such an ass-ache over here all the time?
So honestly, when I first came back, that arraignment, I owe Mr. Nichols an apology because I didn't see everything for what it was at that moment. I thought I was going back to that prison one more time, and I wasn't gonna make it out of that prison. Like it was hell.
No, but I mean over here, you're giving the COs a bad time and won't go in your cell and all this nonsense. Why are you doing that?
Just more so being a knucklehead, hard-headed. I'm trying to work on my anger. It's more so that like I don't have like anger. I guess I just have problems with injustice. Like say like if something's going on and I feel like it's not right, then like I'm gonna voice my opinion.
I mean, you do have a lot of anger. You always had a lot of, and all these contacts with her from the prison indicate you have a lot of anger. It's been going on a long time.
And I want it to be over.
How old's your daughter?
She's turning 5. She's 4. She's turning 5 Sunday, the 10th. I haven't been home for her birthday yet.
So she's going to be 5 on November 10th. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, anything else you want to say?
That I'm just completely over the situation. Like the last time I actually had contact with Miss Cicconetti, it was in April, and she told me we needed divine separation, and we both agreed to cut it off, and we did. And then the last time I spoke to her, she answered my mom's phone back in August, and she told me, hey, I need you to send me some money for me and Lily. And then, actually it was July, and this is right before she lost custody of my child because she went to a mental hospital. My mom said, don't send her money, I think she's getting high. So I sent my mom the money to buy Lily stuff, which she did. And then the second time I called my mom's phone, and it went to the car, and then my mom and her were in the car together or something, and she was saying that she was over her ex-boyfriend. And I said, Mom, I'll call you back later, click. And then now I got this indictment like a month before I'm going home.
Well, this indictment's got to do with the 1,700 calls from the
No,
jail.
see, yeah, no,
Prison.
I understand that. But I feel like if I would have taken her back, would I be right here?
I don't know, but
I don't
Jesus
either.
Christ, I mean, this shit's been going on for 5 years, right?
I'm done,
More.
man, I'm done.
I mean,
I don't want to do this anymore, man, I'm done.
Then you ought to
Please
stop
get me
doing it.
away from her. Like, what do I gotta do, like, to just keep, like, do I gotta put a TPO on her? Like, I
Well,
don't want nothing to do with her.
Listen, I don't understand the two of you. I've never understood the two of you.
I thought I understood her. I don't
Well-
know her. I don't want nothing to
And
do with
she
her.
don't understand you, okay? Nobody understands anybody. I don't understand anything that's going on in the last 5 years in this shit, okay, really? I mean, I can't, you're in prison because of the repeated violation of protection order. That's your biggest thing. And now you're
Yeah.
here again for the repeated violation of protection order. And I don't understand why you do that. I don't know if you understand why you, now you can say,
Partially, I do.
you can
Just-
say it's because of the concern of your daughter, which may account for some of those 1,700 calls, but certainly not
You're
all of them.
No, you're right. And I think a big part of it too was that I don't have nobody. You know, I have my mom and then I have her.
Okay, you don't have her,
Well,
okay?
Right.
Having her put you in a blue uniform right here,
every day,
okay?
every time.
Similar,
Your Honor, it's my understanding that the victim, Julia Cicconetti, would like to address the court at this time.
okay?
Over the past 8 years, I dealt with tons of emotional and physical abuse by Justin Sullivan. Most people ask me, why don't you leave? After being called every nasty name, or holes in my apartment walls, or being thrown across a room, or bruises, an apology would always come with the sweet talking that he wanted to be a father to our daughter. As the years progressed, the threats of death and hearing how he didn't love me or our daughter, I went into fear and depression. It was hard to come out of and realize that there was good and kind-hearted people out there. He would isolate me for full control over me to fulfill his needs. I was so used to getting abused, thinking of the words Justin would say, "You will never get anyone better than me." I felt powerless. It took a lot out of me to finally call the prison and ask them to make it impossible for him to call me. When I would block the number previously, he would have random numbers text me asking for me to unblock the number. He even had someone text my father to get me to answer the phone. He would use our daughter that he wanted to ask about her. I felt guilty, which he would make me feel a lot because I did care about him. Also, maybe prison had to be tough. I also wanted to believe that he wanted to be a father to our daughter. In all reality, it was just because he wanted to treat me bad, so he felt he had full control over me as a woman. I finally had the prison block the number from Justin calling me. He sent me a piece of mail, which was a blank piece of paper, and it trying to induce fear and confusion in me. One of the last calls I had with Justin, he was threatening to kill me. One time he threatened to hotshot me, which means shooting me up with heroin to make it look like an overdose, which I never did opiates before. At that point, I knew I needed to take these threats seriously. This was a big step to finally cut off contact after all the years of being with Justin. I think Justin needs to be held accountable. He is using drugs and not taking his medication in prison. He's a danger to society. The physical abuse of bruises on my body and face and being held at knife point by him shows that he is a danger to me especially. I am the victim. Justin wants everyone to believe that he is the victim. He is not and needs to accept responsibility. Even if he does, I'm still working in therapy, the fear of Justin causing me harm one day. He has made my already mental health issues worse, inducing fear, paranoia, and shame. I hope Justin Sullivan can realize what he did to me that affected me severely.
Your Honor, as you're aware, this case revolves around over 1,600 times that the defendant contacted the victim while he was incarcerated for the same exact offense from 2022. And as you heard from Julia herself, these contacts weren't just run-of-the-mill contacts. He was threatening her. He threatened to kill her. He threatened to slaughter her. He told her to kill herself. He told her, "I hope you die." He was verbally abusive to her throughout. He has an extensive criminal history that include prior juvenile adjudications as well as detentions, and he's had 27 prior adult criminal convictions from 2011 to 2022 that do include acts of violence. He's had multiple prior prison sentences, and he's had a significant number of contempt complaints and probation violations. The defendant, as this court is aware, has threatened to kill all the judges in Lake County, and he has not behaved while he was in the Lake County jail. He says he's sorry, but at the same time, he blames the victim for the reason that he had to call her and have contact with her over 1,600 times. So in conclusion, Your Honor, the defendant's pattern of behavior demonstrates that he will not obey the orders of this court. He lacks any genuine remorse. He has an extensive criminal history, and he's failed to respond favorably to prior sanctions that have been imposed by this court and others. And for all of those reasons, the state asks that the court impose a prison sentence in this case and that a no contact order with the victim be applied. Thank you.
Why did the prison allow him to make 1,700 calls?
Well, it's my understanding that some of the calls originated at one prison until the number was blocked, and then he was moved to a new prison, and at that point, the number was no longer blocked. Eventually, it was blocked, but
why would they, if he made one call that was threatening at the prison, why would they allow him to, I mean, they listen to the calls. Why would they allow him to continue to make calls?
I can't answer that question, Your Honor.
Ms. Novotny, anything else you want to say?
Your Honor, I do believe he's showing some remorse for his actions.
I don't know what remorse means, you know, I mean, let alone genuine remorse. I don't know what that means, okay? The problem is, for more than half the time I've been sitting here, I've been dealing with this nonsense, okay? And it's not limited to you. I've got 3 or 4 other cases of stuff like this that are, that unbeknownst to me, I can't figure out why people subject themselves to this shit time after time after time. Okay? So I don't know why people do that. So I don't know what remorse means, really. It doesn't really, for me, it doesn't enter into it. I know it's one of those goofy statutory factors, okay? But it doesn't really mean anything because I don't know how to define it. I don't know how to determine if it's real or not real, okay? Okay? I mean, because everybody sits here and bullshits me all the time. I'm not beating on you for it, everybody does it.
I mean, honestly, like, what am I sorry for? Contacting her about my child? Like, I mean, other than that, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, it was personal too.
Yeah,
but I'm not sorry for I'm sorry for threatening and being mad and because of what I've been through. But, like, other than that, like, because, like, it's almost as if, like, I show my genuine self and then, like, I get told that's not who you are. That's not who you are. You're a bad person. Like,
okay, it's got nothing to do with being a bad person or not a bad person. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's got what it's got to do with is that this keeps happening over and over.
It needs to stop.
No, and I know it needs to stop. The problem is you don't know it needs to stop.
I'm over it. Trust me.
Your Honor, Justin's mother's also in the back, and I think she has a few words to say as well.
All right, what do you want to tell me?
Your Honor, I can't attest to Julia's, the way she's afraid of my son or whatnot, but at one time, she was using my account to communicate with my son and video calls, you know, so for her to say, you know, maybe he did threaten her, maybe she is afraid of him, but when he would call on my account, she was on there showing her breasts, doing things that if you're afraid, you don't do that.
This doesn't, look, this goes back a good 5 years of this stuff going on, okay? And there's been times when I've said something to Miss Chickanetti about this stuff way back at the beginning of this, okay? So I don't know why this goes on.
I believe he is over the relationship and would like to move on with his life, and I hope that that's the truth from him.
Genuinely 100%.
I don't want to keep going to prison to visit him. I don't want to keep coming to court. I'm tired just as much as you probably are, but thank you.
I've had to lose my father through this. I had to lose my uncle, everybody. I lost everybody.
Okay.
While I've been locked up.
So you've, how your pre-sentence report reads is a lack of relationships in your past that impact you, right?
Yeah.
In a negative way, okay? Now, what are you, 33 now?
33.
Okay. So I don't know what the circumstances of the lack of relationships or your treatment, but it doesn't matter at this point because it's done. So you can wallow around, for another 33 years, bitching about how nobody did this for you and somebody should have done this and that, I feel bad, all that bullshit, okay? But it doesn't matter.
No.
Because unless you want to change it, it ain't going to change.
There's a saying, it says, what's that called? The time frame, no, it says a judicial term with it, the time frame for childhood trauma is up. You know what I'm saying? What's that called? Statutes of limitations for childhood traumas are up. You know what I'm saying? There's no more blaming the childhood trauma because I have my own choice. I can either let it be a bucket of crabs to me or I can step up and be a man,
Okay, so here's, here's the situation as I see it, okay? And maybe I see things different than other people, okay? But you've been here a number of times for this, and as a result, 3 weeks ago, you finished up your 28-month prison sentence for that, right? Okay? And it's still going on, okay? So now what? Now what do we do? You got 3 felonies of the 5th degree for doing the same stuff again. But the question remains, as it always does, and not just in your case, but in every case, is how, if at all, does this change? Well, the answer is simple, right? It changes if you stop doing the stupid shit you've been doing.
Stop doing it.
Right? I mean, that's the only way it changes. It doesn't change because I tell you got to make a change. Because I got tired reading this thing, okay? Because it's so goddamn long, okay? Because I tell you not to do something and you do it. And then I send you to prison, I let you out and tell you not to do it, and you do it. You do it, and you do it, and you do it, and you end up back in prison. Okay? So what? I have no impact on you. You haven't listened to a word I've said in the 7 years you've been coming here, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be sitting here right now, right?
I just thought that.
Okay, and then you get pissed about it. You get pissed at me, and you kind of spout off on the way back from prison to here. Okay, well, whatever. I don't really care about that. Okay, but you don't seem to be able to control your actions, or you haven't wanted to control your. It's one of those two. I don't know which is worse.
I think I give people too many chances.
Well,
I've been told that.
okay, but you know what? If you beat your head against a brick wall every morning and you get a headache as a result of it and you're bleeding, then you shouldn't beat your head against the wall the next morning because you're just going to get a headache and start bleeding again.
There's this one quote. It says, a relationship is controlled by the person who cares the least. So, like, I guess it's because I got a big heart, and, like, knowing, like, what she's been through, like I told Nicole, like, how can I walk away from somebody?
See, why are you worried?
I know, exactly. Like,
Wait. Why are you worried about what she's gone through when you can't even solve what you've gone through and control your own behavior? Why do you try to control somebody else's behavior when you can't control your own behavior?
So, from a psychological standpoint, I think it's because of codependency. What I went through as a child with my mom, like my mom not raising me. I never knew motherly love. Let's get that out there. I never knew motherly love. I didn't even know my mom till I was like 16. So with that, everything, and then like being in a relationship with her, like she gave me something, even if it was fake, because like in my eyes I was a sucker and I was a fool for a long time. But like in my eyes, she did something for me that I didn't want to leave.
And when did you realize that you were a sucker and a fool?
September 19th. I mean, prior to that, but I still had my doubts about it. Like, oh, maybe this is going on. Maybe it's not her. Maybe no. It's September 19th. I'm not smart.
Okay, so what kind of drugs were you doing when you were in Youngstown?
Smoking K2 and eating Suboxone.
Eating what?
Suboxone.
So your two biggest problems are the drugs that you have always done and your inability to contain your self-control, your anger. Those are your two biggest problems. And there's no real way of me knowing whether you're going to act on those extremely angry impulses, is there?
No, I guess it wouldn't be.
Right.
You would just have to genuinely take my word that I'm being honest with you that,
Listen, I don't, it's a pretty rare occasion where I take anybody's word for anything, okay? Because words don't mean anything.
yeah,
I mean, they don't mean
no, not
anything.
at all.
Okay? Otherwise, if words meant everything, that means I would believe everybody, and I would fashion my sentences accordingly, okay? But that's only part of it. That's not the beginning and the end of it, whether I believe you or don't believe you, okay? Question is, what do I do with you?
I mean, do you
Yeah,
want to
that-
believe? I mean, do
Huh?
you trust me? I mean,
I don't trust anybody, okay? I don't trust anybody, okay, because everybody lies to me, okay? But that's beside the point, okay? It doesn't matter whether I believe you or I trust you.
Yeah.
Okay, the only thing that matters is whether you're ever going to stop this or whether you're just going to continue this. So that long after I'm gone from here, somebody else is sitting here dealing with you. Okay, that's my calculus. Okay, so you got 3 F5s. Okay, so I got to figure out the appropriate sentence for 3 F5s in your particular facts and circumstances, in your case, not what the stupid statutes tell me what to do with 3 F5s, because I don't calculate sentences based on some kind of matrix that you got, because you got a shitty record, right? Ms. Himmel pointed that out. Now, she told me, everything she told me I already knew with regard to your record, because I've been sitting here living it, okay? Okay, so the question is, what do I do with you? Not what do I do with somebody who has these convictions
Right.
for these offenses and acts like this, okay?
That's your
What do I do with you?
help me.
Well, I can't help you.
For a long time, I didn't think I needed help. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought it was on my
I
own.
recognize that you needed a lot of help a
need a
long
lot.
time ago. Okay,
Yeah.
you didn't. Now, you may have, maybe you didn't want to do anything about it.
I thought I was doing A-okay back then when I was stupid.
All right, well, listen, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report again, and I've reviewed the letter that I received from your mother, and I heard what she had to say, what Ms. Cicconetti had to say, what you had to say, what Nicole had to say, what Jennifer had to say. And I've considered all of the applicable statutes that I have to as part of a sentencing. So if I were I'm gonna put you on community control for 5 years. We're gonna try this over again. Now, if I wasn't gonna put you on community control, okay, if I was just gonna get rid of you today, it would be for 12 months in prison, okay? That's what I would give you, okay? But I'm gonna put you on community control. And if you come back, then you're not gonna get 12 months. You're gonna get 12 plus 12 plus 12. That's what you'll get.
I ain't coming back.
Well, how many, if I had a buck for everybody that told me that, I'd be filthy rich, retired, and gambling it in Las Vegas, okay? Because everybody told me. But, once again, it doesn't matter what I say. It matters what you do. It doesn't matter what you say. Where is that place?
Legends, Your Honor.
Where is it?
Green Springs, I think.
It is in Broadview Street, 430 North Broadview Street, Suite B, Green Springs, Ohio.
Where's Green Springs, Ohio?
Your Honor, I'm not really familiar where Green Springs is.
I think it's like
Take a
2
look,
hours.
Joe.
It's like 2 hours away, I think. That's what Aaron.
But it would be available for him on the 12th.
Tuesday. I have a quick question for.
I ain't done yet. And you
My
can
fault.
ask questions when I'm done.
Well, it's like it's near Sandusky. Yeah, it's near Sandusky.
What medication were you prescribed in the past?
I was on Wellbutrin before I got back to the county. They took me off it. I've been taking Lamictal, but I've not been taking it for the last 2 weeks because I'm trying
What do you take that for?
It's a mood stabilizer.
All right, you're going to serve 47 days credit for 14 or 17. You're going to be released to Legends and taken there by a representative of the Public Defender's Office. Enter into and complete that program. You're going to get a psychological evaluation, follow the recommendations. You're going to see only one doctor and one dentist and one pharmacy for prescription medication. Take your medication only as is prescribed and sign releases. You have no drugs or alcohol and you'll be screened. Attend at least 3 AA meetings a week and get a sponsor, obtain full employment at the appropriate time, and get a driver's license. And you're to have no contact with Julia Cicconetti. You're to cause nobody to have any contact with her. For any reason, okay? Now, she doesn't have custody of your daughter right now, right?
She's not getting it back.
So you have zero reason to contact her for
Not
anything.
at all.
If she gets custody back, you're not to contact her. You're going to have to work through juvenile court when that happens to arrange, hey, I don't want to hear any shit back there, or you can both leave. Your next step, after you clear up, after you get a hold of yourself, is to go to juvenile court, establish paternity and a visitation schedule, and pay child support. That's your step with regard to your daughter. Now, you said you had a question.
It was earlier. I'm not sure if I remember it. No, I was, you said 47 days, 17 times served, so 30 days, and then I go to the treatment center?
Well, you're going to go to the treatment center when it's available and when they can transport you there.
Okay,
And
so
the rest of
Tuesday.
those days will be suspended.
Okay.
Now, of course, you're a veteran at this, so you know what happens if you violate. They file a motion to terminate. I'll terminate you, and you'll go for 36 months. Then you'll be on post-release control. Under the parole authority, you'll have to comply with them. If you don't comply with them, they'll send you back to prison.
So I think I'm on PRC right now.
Well, that's for them to deal with. I got nothing to do with that.
So, like if I file something with you, like based on like the separation of powers clause, like I can't.
No, don't do
No.
that. Don't do
All right,
that.
sorry.
'Cause,
Just because I'm on
that's-
being on both is just
That's been established by the Ohio Supreme Court. They
Okay.
can do that, okay?
all right.